Going live.
Welcome to the morning sports briefing on New Zealand Sport Radio.
Yes, hello and welcome to the morning sports briefing here on the. Whoops! I forgot my hat. Jeez, all over the place. Here, it's a Sunday. It's the weekend. We can get away with it. It's Sunday, the 23rd of August here, and you are here to start your day the best way on the morning sports briefing. And we'll bring you up to date with all the important sports news. Unfortunately, the Wellington Phoenix have crashed out of the finals over in the A-League. England in totally dominant position in the cricket. And we got an update from Super Rugby AU where the Brumbies saw off the Waratahs yesterday. News on the Bledisloe Cup and also from the Northland Club Rugby Championship. In the NRL, we've got convincing wins for the Raiders, Roosters and Rabbitohs. A good day to have your team start with the letter R. And over, we have updates on the women's golf, where Lydia Ko is going in the Women's British Open, and Danny Lee update going well in the Northern Trust PGA. And also we have updates from the in motor racing as well, with Supercars and Indy 500 this weekend. So let's kick off with that football news. And yes, Wellington Phoenix unfortunately lost to Perth Glory by 1 goal last night, just 0-1 in that one. Plenty of shots by the Phoenix, but none of them could go in. And so Perth Glory will go through to face Sydney FC in the semi-finals. The second elimination final between Brisbane Roar and Western United will take place today at 8 p.m. So get your A-League fix this evening at 8 p.m. Moving on then to the cricket, and England reached 583 for 8 declared. Crowley making a double century with 267 and Butler reaching 152. That was a big score. Clearly put England in a position where they could only really win the game from there. Pakistan reached 24 for 3 at the end of play on day 2, with Anderson taking all 3 wickets. I'm going to hand you over to Stephen now, who's going to take us through our birthdays this morning.
Oh, thank you, Paul, and good morning to everybody tuning into NZ's Sport Radio. Hope you're enjoying your weekend and birthdays today. The first New Zealand basketballer to play in the NBA, a full-time winner of Bathurst, and finally from Black Caps to coaching. And that's where we start this morning. Richard Petrie, born this day, the 23rd of August 1967, in Christchurch, as a former New Zealand cricket player who played 12 one-day internationals in February 2020. He was named in New Zealand squad for the 50 overs cricket World Cup in South Africa. However, the tournament was cancelled during the third round of matches due to the COVID pandemic. I think he was named as the actual coach, not a player. Excuse me. Greg Murphy, born this day, the 23rd of August 1972, is a New Zealand professional motor racing driver, best known as a 4-time champion of the Bathurst 1000. Murphy joined James May presenting Top Gear Live when it had its first international live show at the ASB Showgrounds in Auckland on 12th of February 2009, and again when the show returned in 2010. And finally, Sean Marks, born this day, the 23rd of August 1975, is a New Zealand basketball executive and former player and coach who is the general manager of the Brooklyn Nets of the National Basketball Association. He was the first New Zealand player in the NBA. Marks won 2 championships with the San Antonio Spurs, one as a player in 2005 and another as an assistant coach in 2014. We'll be back shortly with the news.
Sorry, folks, some technical issues there. We'll sort things out Oh, clicking all of the wrong buttons this morning. But moving over on to the rugby then, and the Brumbies saw off the Waratahs 38-11. It was a close first half that finished with just 1 point lead, 12-11 at half time. The Waratahs really not helping themselves. Too many drop balls and too many other errors, handing over possession to the Brumbies there. The Brumbies in the second half just dominated and racked up those 3 tries, which led to 4 tries in that second half, which led to that big win for the Brumbies over there in Super Rugby AU. Some news on the Bledisloe Cup. So it's still expected that the first 2 rounds of the Bledisloe Cup will be on the 10th and 17th of October, probably over in Australia. Originally, the 10th of October was going to be in Melbourne, and then the 17th of October in Brisbane. And the Brisbane one still looks probable, but the Melbourne one, with the outbreak of COVID in Victoria, looks like that's probably off. Sydney and Perth were initially the 2 front runners to take that over, but Queensland could set up with Brisbane, obviously hosting that one on the 17th. There's a chance that it could be held on the Gold Coast or somewhere like that on the 10th, so to keep travel down to a minimum. So Bledisloe Cup still on, apparently, for those. And yesterday, Stephen was at an absolute thriller in Northland for the Spark Business Hub Premiership Cup final between Waipu and Mid Northern. Yeah, you got on the microphone, sir, didn't you?
Yeah, I certainly did. Jumped on their stream. We actually started the stream a little bit late, and these things happen. But we were able to get a commentary to go with the pitches that we had there at Caledonian Ground in Waipu. And let me say, I want to say a big thank you to the Waipu Rugby Club and also the Northern Rugby Union, who gave me this lovely hoodie as well. So I really do appreciate that. And on the game itself, yeah, what a thriller! It looked like it could have gone either way, but in the end, it was the reigning premiers, who are still the reigning premiers, and that happens to be Waipu. But yeah, great day ahead by all, Paul.
Absolutely. It went down to extra time, folks, and you can catch post-match interviews with both the captains on our Facebook page. Stephen had an extra long microphone stick to keep socially distanced from them, and thank you for both of them for taking the time out to talk to us. We'll cover that on that and other club action on the Driving Wall Show on Monday evening at 8 p.m. And do join us tonight at 8 p.m. to review all of that Super Rugby AU action. I'm going to hand you over now to Stephen, who's going to take us through the sport that just keeps on giving. It's the NRL update. Oh, he's disappeared. So we'll come back to the NRL update, and we'll move on to golf then. And in the Women's British Open, Sophia Popov leads after round 3 on 4 under par. But Lydia Ko is going well. She's in tied 7th at the moment at just 2 over par, and putting together a decent run of form, Lydia Ko, over the last few tournaments. Over in the Northern Trust PGA tournament, after round 3, Dustin Johnson leads the way at 16 under par. Danny Lee, coming off the back of making the cut at the PGA last weekend, clearly is in confident form, because he is tied 4th currently at 13 under. Definitely one of his better results or better performances so far of the season. So Danny Lee going well, Kiwis going well in both the men's and the women's golf over there. And we'll hand you over now to Stephen, who'll take us through our NRL update.
Yeah, thanks again, Paul. Take 2. My apologies for that. We had in the NRL yesterday wins to the Raiders, Roosters, and the Rabbitohs, and they were all convincing wins. We'll start with the first game of yesterday's round, triple header Saturday, which was played at Leichhardt Oval at 5 p.m. and it was I beg your pardon, it was played at Cibus Super Stadium there in I'm not exactly sure where that is. I think it's in the Gold Coast, but it was a game between the Raiders and the Titans, and it was taken out by the Raiders by 36 points to 16 after they led by 22 points to 4 at halftime. They scored 6 tries in total with Jack Whiten, who got a double within 4 minutes on the 24th minute and 28th minute, and Nick Kotrick, who picked up a try in each half, getting a double. The rest of the tries coming from Tom Starling and Hudson Young, the rest of the points coming from the boot of Jared Coker and Jack Whiten. For the Titans, who were well beaten, they just scored the 1 try in the first half to Philip Sami, and Alexander Brimson and Keegan Hipgrave added tries in the second half. So that final score again, Raiders 36, Titans 16. In our second game, which was played at Leichhardt Oval, beg your pardon, 7:30 p.m. last night, it was the Roosters who were far too strong for the West Tigers. They won by 38 points to 16. This game was good as over at halftime, with the Roosters leading by 20 points to 0. In fact, the Morris brothers, Brett and Josh, scored a double each, with Brett Morris scoring a double in the first half. The rest of the tries coming from Drew Atkinson, Joseph Manu, and also Matt Ikuvalu, who started the scoring in the 7th minute. The 3 tries for West Tigers all coming in the second half, with tries to Jacob Little, Adam Doherty, and David Nofaluma scoring their try. So a 7-3 to try victory. That final score again, 38 points to 16 to the Roosters. And at our final game, wow, it was a decisive win for the South Sydney Rabbitohs over the Sea Eagles at ANZ Stadium, winning by 56 points to 16 after they led by a massive 38 points to 0. Alex Johnson, Latrell Mitchell, and Campbell Graham all getting doubles or bagging a brace of tries. Alex Johnson scoring his try within the his double within the first 15 minutes of the first half. The rest of the points coming from Stephen Masters, who opened the scoring with the try. The rest of the scoring coming from Tavita Tatola and Cameron Murray. The Seagulls tries coming from Jack Gillespie and Ruben Garwick, who actually scored a double in the 65th and 78th minute. That final score again, Rabbitohs 38, Sea Eagles 0. As we have a quick look at the table, that leaves the Roosters on 20 points in 4th place, the Raiders in 5th place on 20 points, and the Rabbitohs in 6th place on 18. So they've progressed their way up the table. In games today, we've got the Bulldogs hosting the Warriors at ANZ Stadium from 4 p.m. I think that could be 6 p.m. Australian time. That's the Warriors that they're hosting, so that's the game we'll be watching. And our later game from McDonald Jones Stadium sees the Newcastle Knights playing the North Queensland Cowboys, and that'll wrap up round 15 of the NRL. But once again, we'll be back tomorrow morning to wrap up all the games from round 15, and we'll check out that table as well. Not to mention the guys on Wednesday night on the standoff, that's Sanjay and Brad. Also, just before I go, a good signing too for the Warriors. Ewan Aitken from the Dragons has signed with the Warriors for 3 seasons. So there we go. That's our lead news today. Back to you, Paul.
You're listening to the Morning Sports Briefing on New Zealand Sport Radio.
So, and moving on then, folks, to the Indy car racing. And Scott Dixon has posted the second fastest time during practice. The race will take place at 5 a.m. on Monday morning. So good luck to Scott Dixon in the Indy 500. Over in the supercars, and it's the Darwin Super Sprint this weekend. And in race 16, Scott McLaughlin had a great start and went through to starting off from second in the grid, but went on to win his 49th supercars career victory. So congratulations to him. He passes the legendary Peter Brock in the all-time winners list. McLaughlin now is 5th best on in the all-time winning list. Whincup is top on 120 wins. Loudon's on 110. Scuffy on 90, and Tander on 55. So, yes, Tander definitely within Scott McLaughlin's sights, only 6 races ahead of the others, some distance. We have race 17 and 18 over there at the Darwin Super Sprint happening today. So good luck, Scott, in both of those races. Don't forget that later today, the Pulse take on the Tactics in the ANZ Premiership Grand Final. That gets underway at 6:45. So yes, do watch that over on Sky Sports, folks. You have now started the day the best way, up to speed with all of the important sports news here on New Zealand Sports Radio. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend, everybody. Don't forget, you can listen to us on the go. Just download iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and search for New Zealand Sports Radio, and you can listen to the podcasts, all the shows, recorded podcasts on there. Yes, as Hugh asks in the live chat, is that Steve from the Deep South on the voiceover? Yes, it is Steve from the Deep South, or Cornflake, who hosts our Super Rugby preview shows on a Friday evening at 8 p.m. Doing the voiceover there. Little technical issues trying to get those played out, but we'll get slicker with that, folks. Don't you worry. So thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And we'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning with a morning sports briefing.